I'm Megan. This is my dad, Paul.
Hello.
And we are Nature Select Pet Food. This is episode 1 of Canines Cocktails. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is what we're calling the Zoomies cocktail, otherwise known as a classic screwdriver. Pretty hard to mess it up. It's just orange juice and your favorite vodka and ice. That's it. That's actually my dad's go-to drink, believe it or not. That's why we started with this one. So we'll be doing different cocktails every episode as we learn about our company and our history and about our family and why we do what we do.
I've always had a deep drive to want to start my own business. We love pets. We love the whole idea of dealing directly with the public. And in the beginning, when we first started, it was there's only about 350 brands of food out there, and not many of them premium products, or very few, I should say. And I thought we had a great idea at the time of doing the home delivery of pet food, direct to consumer, and it has changed a lot over the years. But why really is the reason we started was to build something that would give health to animals and also put a roof over our family's head. You know, it was a heck of a challenge, but it was the most fun and rewarding. It happened pretty quickly for us.
And you started it out of our house.
We did.
And you delivered the food yourself.
You know how I bought my first truckload of food?
How did you do it?
I had an old Thunderbird convertible that I loved dearly, but I sold it and it gave me just about enough to buy the first truckload of food. And I was lucky enough to have a friend that had warehousing that I could use with him. We ran our office out of our home, like Megan said.
And where did you deliver to at first? Was it just in Placentia, or really?
It was mostly, actually, it was all my friends, the neighbors, friends, people, acquaintances, people that had something to do with it, related to the business I still had at the time. And it was well received. And then we grew from there and started. Most people in Southern California would be familiar with the Orange County Marketplace, swap meet. And we would go down there, or I would go down there every Saturday and Sunday morning, go get in line at 5 o'clock in the morning, hand out samples all day long.
And I would hand out samples too.
Yeah, once in a while Meg would come down. She was only like 4 years old back in that day.
And I would go in the truck on these routes. We had route days back then, so.
Yeah, she was always fond of doing that.
I hated doing that, actually. But back then there was no iPhones or iPods or any like portable gaming stuff, so I would just be forced to listen to oldies on the radio.
That's right.
Or talk radio,
or talk
which
radio.
I did not like talk radio. But what was like, explain to them when we first started, it was Paul's Pet Food, by the way. It was not Nature Select Pet Food. We'll show you an old logo. We have one hanging in the back. I thought my dad had his own cartoon show with pets when I was little. That's what I would tell everyone. It wasn't until I was older that I understood it was a pet food delivery company. But like how would you get, I know you got customers, but how would you know when to go to certain areas to deliver them?
I was in the transportation business early on when I was growing up. I drove trucks for a living. And it was it's pretty simple to do. We just diced up really Southern California, and we would deliver like 2 days a week in the more populated areas like Huntington Beach, Long Beach, Newport, and that area. And then we do the outer areas, the desert areas, some of the other cities. But actually, that was probably one of the easiest things to do.
How did you know how to get to places if you've never been there before?
Thomas Guide Map.
Explain what that is.
Yeah, for you young folks, the Thomas Guide Map had grids on it with all the numbers and where everything was. And I got teased a lot because somebody would say where they lived, and I would use the map book and the sequence on each map book to tell them where how I would get there or what have you. happen real quick. It was really over time and learning and trying to figure out the needs. And it really was what we could afford to do as a small company in a very new industry that we found ourselves. We started off with we called it at the time, it didn't have really a name of the product, it was called 2212. It was 22% protein, 12% fat. And then we grew to, when we needed a puppy formula, that was a 2715, 27% protein, and so on. And then we brought on a maintenance, a little more of a cost point food for folks back then, and really we moved away from that because we wanted everything to mirror a premium pet food. Then we moved in, we put a light food on, and a lot of the formulas have changed over time. The light food formula was a 16-6, 16% protein, 6% fat. So we changed as time went on with adding like our multi-protein. Then we started to call our foods actual names like classic formula, which is the first one. Then our multi-protein, which with meats and chicken in it, and so on. So they just came as we saw the need for them.
And when you started, everything was in a plain white bag, right?
It was.
You didn't really have branding or nothing.
No.
And when you took the food to people's homes, were you actually delivering a bag of food, or were you delivering it in a...
At the very beginning, we delivered in tubs, 25-gallon and 50-gallon tubs. We bring the tubs back with us, wash them, reline them, and then have them ready to go back out the next day.
Who would wash that?
The warehouse.
So you did that for every single customer?
Every single customer.
Customers used to be able to buy our own, like they would buy tubs from us, or we would provide it to them?
We would charge a deposit. Now the phone's been ringing, people want the deposit back
People
tomorrow.
still ask for them all the time. Actually, someone recently called and they said, I miss the days when Paul would fill my bin for me. And that hasn't happened in 30 plus years.
We have taken pride since day one in the foods that we produce, from the relationships we have with farmers, with where we get our poultries from and our beef. It's all within just a short range of where our food's produced in Texas. It's we know the families, we know the folks that produce these products.
And we've worked with these suppliers for many years, so
We have.
everything that comes in and out of our manufacturing facility is basically, it's a human grade facility, so it's no different than if you were making food for us. Everything is very strict on what safety protocols they meet. If the ingredients aren't up to code or up to standard, we don't accept it, meaning we wait until the next batch. So everything coming in and going out is very, very closely paid attention to. So I think
the proteins, the fats, everything that come into the facility, they're all tested for antitoxins, for salmonella, you name it. They're tested and they are refused if they don't come back within the reasonable lines of what they should be.
And I just want to go off a misconception. People think we are a corporate-owned company, and we're not. We are family-owned and operated, obviously. We run our business as a corporate office here, meaning like we oversee the brand as a whole, but as far as running our business across the country, we have other families that run their localized business representing Nature Select where they live. So we know everyone who works for us. We know everything that's in our food. I've seen some interesting ads this year that try to paint all kibble as really bad, everything is toxic, you don't know what it is. That might be true for some of these bigger companies, but for us, that's the farthest thing from the truth. We know exactly what's in our products. We test everything for a safety protocol, and that's why we're recall free and have been for almost 28 years.
Yeah, you can simply walk out and flip any of the bags over in our warehouse to see dates and stuff on the bags where they're produced. Generally, it's within weeks of being manufactured, or sometimes even days, that we have the product in-house. And Megan touched on something with our distributors throughout the nation. They're all families. They're just like Megan, myself and Megan, the folks in Chicago to the folks in Tennessee. They all have the same concerns that we have. We all share the same concerns that are out in the marketplace and stuff. It's been but one thing they do, I believe they have our trust, and we have theirs to boot. It is like a big family.
Yes, and everyone does a great job of really representing our brand in a very local, close-knit way. I think our customers, that's really what sets us apart. Customers know us by name, we know them by name, we know their dogs by name. We've had customers that my dad has had since the beginning who have had kids, and they all have their own dogs. Some of them are on their 5th or 6th dog, and they have trusted us their whole, not just that whole dog's life, but multiple dogs. So I think that really says a lot about what we do. I don't know of any other pet food brand that can truly say that, who have ended up selling out to the big guys. We are still privately owned and operated as a family, so I think that's why we have more control over our quality and what you can expect with our product.
What we've gone through, especially through the COVID, we were lucky enough, and we're very blessed to have a business that was stayed open through that whole period of time. But it came with a lot of shortages, a lot of product availability. But we never had to close our doors. We never had to let a customer go without. We tried to hold food back so people bought 2 bags at a time, 3 bags at a time. We rationed it to 1 for 1 point or 2, or for a little while. But but really the biggest challenge we have now is just the business climate. It's just inflation is awful, and we're being affected by it. So is every other company being affected by it. And we know we'll get through it. It's just a period of time that we're going to have to deal with it. And the government can't put money forever for every purpose and expect prices not to climb, because the dollar does get worth less and less.
Something I wanted to add to the COVID season that over the past year, we've had many challenges, just like every other company has. Luckily, like you mentioned, we didn't have to shut our doors. Obviously, we were close to the public, but I'm very thankful that I was still able to come to work every day, physically drive here. I had a sense of normalcy, and talking to our customers, really, I feel like people lean on people to get through tough times, and luckily for us, our customers have been more than understanding throughout this whole time, especially now that we're facing possible price increases down the road. A lot of delays and shortages of ingredients that he mentioned, but almost everyone is very positive, and I think it has a lot to do with how they view us. They trust us. We are a family-owned business. We're not some big corporation. I think some customers, though, in the beginning did panic. Obviously, we all did. But if we just talk to them like, hey, what can you get to just get you through? We're not running out of dog food, and that was kind of to our advantage. We're not sold in stores. We're not in grocery stores or big chain stores. So when all those stores were running out of pet food, overnight we faced, all kinds of new customers, which was a great opportunity.
My goals have really remained the same. The products mean everything to me. I don't want to cheapen them or change the bag size. I did that once. I got hell from all my customers for it.
It would be pricey, but going off of that, some of these fresh food companies, I've looked into it out of curiosity. I personally don't know how someone could, the common person, I guess, or regular person like us, how someone could afford to feed a dog of his size, who's like 55 pounds, that's over $400 a month. How would you talk to a customer when they say, well, why kibble? Kibble's bad.
We could be asked today if I wanted to go to our manufacturer and say, I'm going to give you $5 more to do something with this food to make it better, super, more efficient than you could. And the answer would be you can't. So,
thank you for joining us for our first official Canines and Cocktails. Cheers.
cheers.
That was really fun.
It's fun working with you.
Yeah, working with your dad is so fun. No, but it is.
Very interesting I am.
Yeah. So next time we want to hear some of your questions. So we'll do kind of a little bit different every episode, but we do want to hear from our customers, whether it's feedback, maybe you have a positive Nature Select before and after story, or you have a dog that's been eating our food for a long time, we want to hear from you. So visit our website, submit your questions, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.